All right, so I'm gonna give you the brief backstory on this. There was a little bit of wood left over from the home renovation, and I was gonna use it to fix my quarter pipe, but there's a little bit more than just that. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll build some more BMX ramps. It's been a while. It's one of my favorite things to do. I really like working with wood. So that turned into ordering even more wood to be able to build a certain type of ramp that I've never built before. So we're gonna do that, but before we do that, I'm gonna fix the quarter pipe since that's originally what I was supposed to do. You can see in the back, there's a 2x4 that needs to be replaced, basically all rotted out. I wanna try to lift this thing with a forklift, so I'm definitely gonna need to reinforce this whole bottom area if I'm gonna do that. Those ramps obviously a bit weathered from sitting outside. I screwed in two little sectional triangle braces that I just made really quick, super ghetto. Mainly just so when I go and put it on the forklift, it doesn't wobble side to side. And I'm gonna try to ratchet strap that so I can lift it from the back versus lifting it from the front. It'll make more sense when you see the situation, but this thing's always been a pain to move, and the fact that it's kind of so deteriorated at this point is not gonna make it any easier. You know when you have a dumb idea and you don't expect it to work and you put minimal effort into it and it doesn't work? This was the opposite of that. It actually worked. There's a little couple ghetto uprights and a strap. It used to take like 8 of us to move this thing. We would tilt it on its side. The whole ramp would get damaged in the process, or we'd drag it. It would scratch the ground a bunch. But I'm stoked, you know? I guess all these days of lifting up junk cars and stuff, you learn a little something. So now I got a very easy jig if I want to move this with a forklift. So I'm gonna actually put this inside and start to figure out the area to kind of get motivated to start building some of the other stuff. Kind of cool though, huh? I kind of built this quarter pipe on a budget. I built it right, but I didn't use pressure treated. And you can see some of the wood has been deteriorating down here. It doesn't really matter because, oh wow, that's a lot of ants. Maybe I shouldn't bring this thing inside. That's a lot of ants. Maybe we'll try to pressure wash those away before we bring this inside. But yeah, anyway, this stuff kind of got corroded, but most of the structure comes from this, and the skate light kind of blends it anyway. But overall, not in bad shape, apart from the one rear 2x4 that I replaced and then that stuff down there. The theme of this video is about doing something good for myself, and the sponsor of today's video is right in line with that. You guys have heard me talk about AG1 before. It is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. Instead of just addressing one area, we're looking out for the universal needs of our body. I enjoy knowing that I'm doing something good for my body, and I enjoy the taste too. The best way to describe it is like a fusion of like kind of pineapple-y vanilla. It's good. A couple of the benefits that are most important to me are stress and mood balance. Obviously, I've got a pretty hectic day. Focus and energy, and then of course, with the amount of traveling that I do, the immune defense is another great added benefit amongst others. We're all getting older, we want to age healthy, and AG1 is there to support our gut, brain, and immune health so we can continue to do the things that we love for as long as possible. I like riding my bike. Head over to drinkag1.com/AdamLZ or use the QR code that's been on the screen, and you'll get a free welcome kit that includes a canister, shaker, a year's supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 extra travel packs of AG1. And as always, I want to give a massive thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this video and for continuing to support the channel. Before I bring her inside, probably a good opportunity to lay some paint down and make it look a little bit better. Got a lot of yellow laying around, so I guess we'll use that. At first I was kind of anti-riding indoors just because I didn't want to scuff up the floors. Still that way in the shop, but these floors are pretty hammered. between the dyno and all the heavy traffic we have in here. Not really stressing it. I was kind of stupid though when I was pushing the ramp because I was lazy, so I scratched the floor a little bit with the forks, but sliding the ramp with my hands didn't cause any damage. Still plenty of room to get a car in the paint booth, which is very important. Definitely a little bit bigger than I thought it would be inside, but I think it's a good size, should work well. And the goal is to basically create a run that goes through this area of the building. Now it's not so much of an issue, but like the childhood dream is always to have your own indoor skate park. Especially in Florida, having AC is gonna be gangster. Between AC and having lights, a lot of times I don't ride because I can't get out of the warehouse early enough with daylight, or it ends up raining. So now we've kind of got a combat for all of that. One of the most important things when you're building the ramp is getting the dimensions right. Always, whenever I used to build ramps, I would always build it too steep at first because it always looks mellower until you go and ride it. So what I did this time is I actually started laying everything out with some 2x4s kind of ghetto just to see what it would look like. My buddy Corey, who builds a lot of ramps, gave me kind of a rule of thumb that anything over 16 inches is too much for how short I'm trying to keep this thing, because I don't want it to be too big and hard to move. So this would be 2 sections. This is about 16 inches tall. But what I have to be mindful of is I can't make this exactly 8 feet. Even though these are 8-foot sheets, I like to make it a little bit shorter. That way the wood has a little lip at the bottom to kind of naturally blend. Some people will do it like metal signs, and I guess you could do it that way. Yeah, I actually do have metal. It's not a terrible idea. I just usually don't do that. I guess maybe I could. That's also more work, so I'm not gonna do that. I will just keep it shorter. That way I can have it blend. I'll start to draw up my sides now, and then the framing part's really easy. Now we've got our run. The important thing to note is that when I use this 2x4 for measuring it, this is 8 feet. So I'm leaving this much basically in excess. So that way the wood at the bottom of the ramp has some area to blend nicely. Got my heat wave safety glasses on, and now it's time to get to cutting. Now the way that you frame it in an annoying but important detail, you have to basically chop this much off all the 2x4s. Otherwise, when you go to frame it, you'll have this much gap of the plywood on the edges. So essentially what we do is we take this measurement and then we chop it off all the 2x4s, and then they're all ready to be framed. It's the next day, I've got all my wood cut, so now I get to do the fun part, and that's framing it up indoors. It's Easter, and I'm probably being a little bit overconfident in that, hoping I can get the entire ramp built and ride it to film a couple clips in a 2-hour time span before I leave to go visit my mom. So let's see what we can do. Had 2 small speed bumps, one of which is I did bad math and I'm not gonna have enough plywood to finish this. Number 2, I started mocking up the skate light on top of the ramp. Usually what I do is I'll kind of layer them, each one a little bit farther down, so you get this nice blend at the bottom. And I was hoping that I could get away with just using 1 full sheet of skate light, but to get this transition nice and smooth at the bottom, I'm gonna be short about this much. So I'm gonna need to go get some more of that and some more plywood. So I think today what I'm gonna do is just finish framing both sides so I can kind of get an idea of what it's gonna look like. But I just kind of started screwing this down just to see if I was gonna have enough wood or not. As expected, I was a little overconfident with time. I got it all framed up, but since I don't have the right amount of plywood, I'm not even gonna bother starting to sheet it. In the beginning, I wasn't measuring good, so it took me twice as long to do the second half because I had to redo half of my framing. But all in all, looks good. I did a little test ride to see if everything feels right. It feels pretty good. Stoked to ride it. It's not gonna be this close. It's actually gonna be moved back some, but this was just the most open area to start building it. I've been enjoying the Signal Green F80 giveaway car a little bit too much. I'm actually about to take it to Tampa to go visit my mom. It is like the most fun but also comfortable highway cruiser. A lot of times I'm like torn between taking the GT3 somewhere or not, just because I get so in my head about putting mileage on it. But this thing like cruises in the highway, it's fun, it's comfy. I get the craze behind F80s now. It's a good car. Love the stitch. time to let the 3-hour drive commence. All right, I don't know when you guys are watching this, but this is gonna be my first rip with old girl. All right, easing into one first. Pretty spicy. Kind of cool. It does a little overrun thing when you shift. I haven't driven like a manual F80 street car in a long time. They're zippy. All right, so it's time to get the sheathing on, and Sean's giving me a hand on this part. Basically, there's two pieces. They're not exactly 3/8, but if you add them up, it's about 1 inch total. Plus, with the ramp armor on top, this thing's gonna be super, super durable. So if we want to take some pit bikes off of it, some golf carts, crazy carts, should be built for strength. Sean's arguing with my way of carpentry. He's very...
Why you gotta say arguing?
Because he's like, real carpenters don't use lines. They just go with the feel of the wood.
Let us know. Chalk lines are for not compliments.
No, it's for precision. There's two different ways to achieve the same goal, right?
Oh shit, bro. It's rid of my hat.
That could have been so bad. That could have hurt. Bro, that was so deceiving.
I don't know what your plan there was.
Oh, the GoPro is going, thank God.
Yeah, make sure that.
Yeah, mark the clip. Part of my whole big elaborate plan was that I wanted to make a bike check with this bike. This is literally the craziest bike I have ever built in my entire life. I'll give you guys a super quick walk around, but essentially it's all titanium, carbon rims, super light tubes, and then I got this custom fade job anodized profile racing parts from PRP over in Australia. Maybe I'll film a more legit bike check in the future, but I haven't ridden it because I wanted to ride my other bikes first. It was like I was training with weights, but I'm trying to make a banger Instagram reel riding. So if I want any chance of being able to do hop 540s and 360 tail whips, I'm gonna need a little bit of help. So nothing a little titanium won't solve.
We may have made it a little bit excessively durable, but the beauty of it. Ready? Whoa! So crazy! So crazy! I moved the other ramp a little bit by accident. Oh man, too fast. Good?
All right.
Oh, sure.
It's like a little bit mellow, but that was so good. That was like a... That was amazing. I'm kind of mad that I only filmed vertical iPhone clips, but I was just kind of jamming out. I usually don't get that motivated riding by myself, but man, that bike was so good. First time ever riding it, everything felt natural. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's all my dimensions that I've always ridden on every other bike, but I did tricks that were difficult for me at my prime, and even one new one, that foot jam 360 tail up. I don't think I've ever done that before, so I'm pretty hyped. Just a little simple little wedge that I built so I could ride indoors, and the AC, all bougie, and it's so good. Looks sick with the branding, got this area cleaned up. I'm hyped. New addition to the compound, another way to make me smile. Good times.
Oh,
That's all I was hoping
damn.
for. I got a skate
That's
park
pretty
now.
sick. Good luck with getting caught in the paint base, huh?
No, it's good.
It goes in.
Yeah, you just go right through here. A little bit of an angle. Pretty legit, right? I took the golf cart off it already.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Nice.
The golf cart makes it easier to move because you just drive really fast and slam on the brakes and it slides the whole thing. Make sure you tune in to the Freedom 500 tonight, last minute edition. I'm really excited to go back out to the Freedom Factory and drive with the bros. It's been a while. I always have a great time out there, and I'm trying to get first place because first place is a helicopter, and that'll be pretty dang sweet. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you soon.
When you said that you love me, that you love me,
That kind of hurt.
when you said
Oh, the GoPro is going, thank God. Yeah,
you said
well, Mark,